Hello, and welcome back to Half-Life Alyx. Let us continue with Chapter 3 Is or Will Be, where we have just been presented with some armored headcrabs, and we are up for some fun time. One thing that I absolutely need to mention is that VR is a sort of experience that clearly displays to you how difficult operating a handgun actually is. There are a lot of first-person shooters, right? And basically, with most of them, the idea is that you have just a crosshairs in the center of your screen, and whenever you move, or however you move, it is always there in the center. So you just immediately adjust your position and bam, bullseye. With VR, however, you realize that your hands have length, that your wrist can move, and aligning your hands with your eye, keeping it stable, and moving to hit a moving target. Jesus Christ, it's difficult. But yeah, we have 3 bullets to defeat.
Oh, that Vortigaunt I met? He did give me a head crab to eat.
Oh, right! What did it taste like? Tell me how you feel.
Russell. I didn't eat it.
Right. Of course you didn't. No, that's the right decision.
Thank you, Russell. For some reason, I did not expect that we will be getting a shotgun so soon. I do, however, welcome that. Bit more head crabs here and there. Okay. Why are we crawling over here? God damn it. What am I doing with my life? Crawling in some virtual sewers, god damn it. Oh, fuck. I hit my head after all. Wait. Oh yeah, right.
Oh, that zombie has a shotgun.
One challenge we always face when giving a new weapon or tool to the player is ensuring that they collect it before moving on. In these cases, we try to establish some kind of gate that the player can only get past using the new item. This can be especially tricky in cases where we are giving the player a new tool that doesn't fundamentally change their capabilities, as in the case of the shotgun, where almost everything that can be done with the shotgun can also be done with the pistol. In contrast, the pistol gate, where the player had to acquire the pistol before being able to shoot the lock off of the fence back at Russell's lab, was simple to design and execute. For this shotgun gate, we not only needed to ensure that the player collected the shotgun, but also that they learned how to load it before proceeding. We playtested a number of approaches to teaching the reload mechanics during combat, and repeatedly found that it didn't work. When faced with learning a new, complex task under duress, players would retreat back to using their pistol, which was a known quantity to them.
Oh, shells? But I do not see any shotgun over there. Oh no, I do see it. Okay. Now we all know what is behind those walls, right? So this is one benefit of me being aware of what's gonna happen, because I know that these walls are gonna get broken with a bunch of zombies, and at least I will not get like surprised and scared that much. Well, at least I hope to. That's the intention.
Once the player has collected the shotgun, they are only halfway through the shotgun gate. Next, they need to learn how to reload it. To drive home the necessity for the player to learn how to use this new weapon, we added an incoming threat, using a variety of audio and visual effects to sell it. While our goal is to make the player feel like they have a limited amount of time, the time pressure is entirely fake, and everything proceeds based on the player's progress in loading the shotgun for the first time. Once the shotgun has been loaded, a short timer starts, after which zombies burst through the walls. If the player happens to look at the walls before that timer is up, we abort the timer and introduce the zombies. The combination of a timer and a look trigger is a common trick used in places where we'd like the player to see a neat visual moment, but we can't wait forever or the game simply won't progress. The breaking of the walls by the zombies is the final step in opening the shotgun gate. Having new enemies open the way forward when they enter the player's space is a fairly tried and true method, but it's never one we're particularly happy with. It's always a bit too convenient and lacks agency on the player's part. But in a setup like this, which contains a novel puzzle, a new weapon, and its associated mechanics, plus an ambush, we're already dealing with a lot of design complexity packed into a small space, and further additions would complicate the scenario even further.
We did it.
I love this gun.
Four shells left.
This is an interesting mechanic. It kinda can act as a pistol if you hold it like this. Okay, and you cannot pull it back if... Okay, so you can either do this, or you can grab it and just yank it over there. Okay. Okay. More or less got it. So these are head crabs with barnacles. Did they spit out anything interesting? Well, even if they didn't, I got some resin. That's already something. Clearly we are heading this way. Shitballs. Wait, where the... Okay. I lost the dot over there. Was not very happy about that. It's just sometimes you think you aim it as you should, but like maybe my eye switches a little bit. I don't know. Sometimes I don't see the dot and I'm like, where the hell is it? You start to yank the weapon around and you still cannot find it. Do you reckon there is anything down there? Because I have some doubts. shotgun design?
The visual design of the shotgun included a number of challenges. Shotguns in games are generally powerful, and we communicate that power with bulk. As a result, they're big and held in two hands. But our experiments with two-handed VR weaponry didn't reach a level we were satisfied with. When holding a two-handed object in real life, the object itself provides a physical connection between the two hands, and that constraint allows players to stop thinking about it consciously, in addition to providing physical feedback. In VR, without that connection or feedback, we found that players had to keep maintaining their own internal sense of how they were holding their two-handed weapon, or they dripped their hands into positions that were hard for us to reconcile. As a result, our two-handed weapons required players to play along more than we liked. Since one of our core goals with Half-Life Alyx was to allow players to fully immerse themselves by ceasing to think about what they were doing in real life, we decided to focus on single-handed weapons, including the shotgun.
Our initial instinct with the shotgun design was to use a regular real-world shotgun, but modified, with a sawn-off stock and barrel so it would seem less cumbersome when held with one hand. This approach always resulted in the handle being at the rear of the weapon, and we ran into the problem where the weapon always felt front-heavy. Obviously, the VR controller in your hand wouldn't reflect that, leading to a disconnect between what you were feeling and what you were seeing. Placing the handle more centrally and underneath the weapon helped avoid this disconnect. This implied centre of mass wasn't really maintained well as the weapon accrued upgrades throughout the game, but the first impression was the most critical. Since we were going with an odd form, we were keen to use common shotgun visual elements wherever we could to help with player recognition and to ground the design in some reality. One element we borrowed was a common shotgun tube magazine that stores shells horizontally in line with the barrel, and we were just able to fit the gameplay requirement of 6 shells without the overall length becoming unwieldy. You can see the effort we had to go for further shell capacity in the design of our autoloader upgrade. Our first reloading mechanic was based on the realistic insertion of 1 shell at a time. Playtesters found this to be overly tedious, although we did receive some positive comments that it made them feel like an action movie star. The simple addition of allowing the players to insert 2 shells at a time solved this issue, allowing us to keep the good part of the design whilst losing the bad. We were keen to reinforce the whole action movie star thing, and experimented with some big gesture the player could do to finalize reloading. The inclusion of a pop-up mechanism allowed us to add an additional step to the reload that further separated it from our other weapons, yet had a satisfying flick of the wrist to complete the action.
There should be another 5 of them though. Don't make me do this again. Oh. Did not like that. Did not like that at all. Do I care about 1 bullet? Probably not. I am a terrible shot. Just terrible. VR is just so indicative of that. Maybe I do need a 3-shot burst so that when you align a good shot, but see the problem with the The problem with a 3-shot burst is that you either land 3 shots that are real good, oh shit balls. So they just damage you, they just like, they don't really attach to your head, which is nice. The fact that something moans when I'm over here is really concerning. I still have plenty of health, so I do not feel like murdering the little guy. Let's see. Somewhere here? I do have 22 pieces of resin. I can have a laser sight. Okay, autoloader, grenade launcher. So these two feel good. Let's see, I add the toggle between 3-shot burst and single fire. Oh. So I either try to improve the... Oh, I like these animations. So I either improve... Do you need a laser projection for a shotgun? Like really? Well, that's the only thing that improves the... or addresses the targeting on a shotgun, aiming on a shotgun. Maybe I will hold on a little bit until I can get an autoloader, but then grenade launcher also sounds pretty interesting. And here I can either add a laser sight bullet reservoir sounds nice so that you do not reload as much. So at this point I feel like hoarding a bit more resin. Okay. But this is the area that we more or less investigated. It's nice that the shells are getting grouped when you attempt to take them. No, go away, go away. Okay. See, I don't see the dot right now. Like, where is it? Is it my eye just acting out? Yeah, so it's just a little bit flicked to the left, like the barrel of the gun. And then one of my eyes, probably the right one, feels that it is aligned. But my left one is dominant, so I don't see the dot. So weird. Well, that's why you have the previous indicator still installed, so you can try to pay attention to this one. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not going further. Yep, this was it. Darkness gate. Can you... Yep.
As with the shotgun and the pistol, we needed a gate for the flashlight to ensure the player couldn't proceed without it.
I think you're right.
We tried a number of designs around the moment where the player collected the flashlight, but they all ended up being about the player picking up an object, and not specific to that object being a flashlight. Given that the flashlight's primary function is to provide light, we felt the gate needed to be an area of darkness. We also really wanted the player to be excited to get the flashlight, and that meant they had to experience darkness before collecting the flashlight. This turned out to be an interesting challenge because we already had many poorly lit areas prior to this, and now we needed an area that was so dark that players would correctly interpret it as a gate. Our initial implementation was simply to ensure there were no lights within the hallway. Unfortunately, playtesting immediately showed that wasn't enough. Some VR headsets have extremely low black levels, and on those headsets, enough light bounced in from this lit area to enable players to move forward. In addition, our low ground fog provided just enough contrast in the dark hallway for players to make out the scene and stumble through it. Even once we removed fog and bounce light in this area, we saw yet other ways that players tried to move forward. Some players would fire their pistol repeatedly, using the muzzle flash as a strobing light source. Others would use the teleport targeting UI to probe the room, because at that point in the project, it had a small light source attached to it. In the end, we disabled muzzle flashes inside the hallway, and the teleport UI lost its light. The final step was the addition of some dialogue from Alyx, commenting on the darkness and her need for a light source. This was aimed at solving a perceptual problem. Up until now, our game has taught players that their goal is to continue moving forward. And any time that forward progress is blocked, it's because there's something in the local area that needs solving. Given that structure, it's entirely rational for players to do everything they can to find some way to see in the darkness ahead. Alyx's dialogue is aimed at telling the player that the game has recognized their attempts to move forward here, but the solution lies elsewhere. Subsequent playtesting showed us that this dialogue, coupled with the brightly lit area containing zombies off to the right, helped tug players past the darkness entrance and on towards the flashlight.
Ay, ay, ay. Well, see, that is why I don't like these caucuses, like, scattered around. Like, one of them is a goddamn head crab.
Like hacking and environmental puzzles, toner puzzles like this one are often used to relieve tension from combat and engage the player's mind in a refreshing way. This puzzle introduces a new junction type, which has 2 inputs and 2 outputs, as well as branching circuits. Functionally, it's just a simple airlock. Only one of the main combine gates can be powered on at a time, with an additional wrinkle that the smaller side gate on the return path must be powered down separately. In addition to providing a break between hectic combat encounters, this puzzle is a gameplay mechanic refresher, since it's been some time since the player has seen a toner puzzle, and the next ones start to ramp up in complexity.
Okay. Alright. Oh, wait. No, not alright. Yeah, they did mention something about that. Do I even need to go over there? Is there anything around here that would indicate how that thing is supposed to work? Because, like, this goes here, this goes there. Okay, I guess that means that it's just inoperable. And oh my god, you're going on the floor. Okay. Ah, there you are. Okay. Hit. Oh, I can have 3? Wait a second.
Last
How? Okay, so you're not, it's not just a double barrel shotgun. I don't like that this area is dark. I can tell you that much.
Whew. It is dark.
Everything all right?
Nope, I'm good.
Maybe if we do have some head crabs. Maybe we can try to navigate this area very carefully. Okay, for now it feels like we can chill a little bit.
In prior Half-Life games, the flashlight was attached to the player's body, which meant that it always illuminated the world from the same angle, relative to the player's point of view. With tracked hands in VR, we had the opportunity to let players manipulate the flashlight directly, and playtesters reacted very positively to this new freedom. In fact, our earliest implementation of a flashlight in Half-Life Alyx was an object that could be picked up in either hand or even set back down. This allowed the player to put the flashlight down somewhere, providing illumination for themselves while they accomplished another task. Unfortunately, this presented the possibility that a player could leave the flashlight behind, which would have been a game-breaking scenario. Implementing the flashlight as an object that players had to hold also prevented them from holding something else in that hand, which was tedious to manage and simply too punishing of a trade-off. In particular, it meant that weapon reloading was a nightmare, because the player no longer had a free offhand to perform the reload actions. In the end, we settled on a flashlight that attaches to the offhand and turns on and off automatically. This fixes the issues with reloading in the dark, potentially losing the flashlight, and has the nice side effect of not requiring the allocation of a button to toggle the light, which is especially helpful on controllers with fewer buttons. Since the automatic on-off behavior is controlled using level logic, designers could make performance and quality trade-offs in different areas of the game. After all, if a player could turn the flashlight on at any time, the rendering overhead of this shadow-casting light source would have to be accounted for throughout the entire game. On the other hand, if the flashlight is known to be off in a given area, a designer can make use of the resulting rendering headroom by increasing the fidelity of the environment in other ways.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank God.
Okay, so that kind of works. Oh! Too many guys, too many guys. Shit balls. Yeah, maybe I do need a laser sight.
This is fine.
Because I keep losing the sights.
It's really dark. Russ,
Yeah?
can you just talk
About what?
about anything? Literally anything.
Well, I think that given our situation, your irrational fear of the dark is actually quite appropriate. You know, I can give you easily 100 reasons to be terrified.
Okay, that was my fault. I'll be more specific next time.
Okay. We're alive.
Shortly after adding the flashlight to the game, we discovered that playtesters would frequently brace their gun hand with their flashlight hand. This meant that the players had to orient their flashlight hand awkwardly to align the light with their aim. We decided to make this an automatic behavior of the offhand whenever it was brought close to the grip of the gun. If you do this, you'll see that the offhand grips the gun in a natural pose, and the flashlight aligns with the aim. In fact, if you look closely at the end of the flashlight, you'll notice that it has a ball joint. This allows the flashlight to articulate based on whether the offhand is gripping the gun or not. The ball joint has 4 different orientations, one for each gun, and a neutral orientation for when the player is not supporting the gun to aim. These 4 orientations ensure that the flashlight is always pointed in an ideal direction for the player. In one-handed mode, the flashlight attaches to the gun hand at an orientation that is ideal for all scenarios.
Maybe I can be a cool guy and shoot like this. Instead of like being a dork who shoots like this. Right?
Big fan of this flashlight.
And it not unlike yourself, is also sensitive to the dark,
Oh, yeah?
meaning it should go on automatically when the lights go out.
Oh, nice.
Ugh. Okay. And then stabbing yourself with a needle found in some dirty basement in the stomach is probably not the smartest idea in your life. But I also don't think I'm that spoiled for choice or anything. It was over here. What the heck? Did I just miss this headcrab, or did he actually tank like 6 bullets or so? Because this one went down in 3. Yes, I could have used that tank, and I completely forgot about it, and I'm terribly sorry. But at the same time, cut me some slack, okay? I am not a fan of horrors, and I'm playing a dark game where something can jump literally on my face, because this is freaking VR.
All right, Russ. Really need you to talk again.
Absolutely. Be specific.
Before. What was life like before the Combine?
Ah, excellent. Alyx, have you ever heard of a club sandwich?
Nope. Not once.
Right. To make a club sandwich, you need to start with bread. Not from a bread line, from a bakery across the street. Baked that day, okay? You add tomatoes, lettuce, not vegetable paste, fresh. Then you add bacon. That's from an animal we used to call the pig. You toast the bread, and you put all that inside it.
You guys had all that? That's insane.
It is, and I'm not done. Then you add a second sandwich on top of the first one. You put ham in it, also from a pig, and turkey from an animal we used to call the turkey, and more tomato, more lettuce, and a bunch of other things I'm forgetting. It was 6 inches tall and weighed a pound, and had a dozen ingredients from 5 different continents. It was the most impossible food item you could imagine in any age before ours.
Wow.
I know, right?
That is... wow. Thanks, Russ.
You're welcome, Alyx.
Yep. Just dealing with some barnacles over here. Don't mind me. Maybe it will explode itself? Oh yeah, it does. I don't even need to shoot this one. Sandwiches.
When the writers create a new character, they try to write a variety of material from that character's perspective to help find their voice. What motivates them? What do they sound like? How do they relate to other characters? It's helpful to know the answers to questions like this early in a project, particularly when working with a team, where different people might end up writing for that character. The club sandwich story that Russell tells in this section started out as one of these writing exercises. The writing team wrote pages and pages of Russell telling Alyx stories about life before the Combine, getting irritated with her, telling bad jokes, pretty much the whole emotional spectrum. As we refined Russell's character, almost all of that fell by the wayside. We needed to do that work to get to Russell, but most of it didn't sound like Russell anymore. Later in the project, we decided to make Alyx scared of the dark, so we needed Russell to talk a lot in this section to keep Alyx company. It didn't matter what he was saying, it just had to be this voice in the darkness that she was grabbing onto. And then we remembered, hey, didn't we write a rambling sandwich monologue a year ago? And the club sandwich speech was resurrected.
Okay. I am not looking forward to this section, I will tell you that much. Push on. Oh yeah. Do we have more? Of course we have more. Oh shit, oh shit. Oh god. I dropped a clip. I dropped a clip over there. I got so scared that I dropped a clip. Maybe I do need to invest in laser sight because I'm losing the sight. Maybe now I understand why you need a laser sight. Excuse me. Thank you. Some cans on the left. I meant to the right. I have no idea where the guy is. Oh shit balls. Oh. Somehow I live through that encounter. None of these guys have anything, on their belts. That is a bit upsetting. Okay. Ah, shit. Oh, that's a new area. Sheesh. Okay. Oh. The flashlight is off. I only see a needle over there. I don't need that. Nah, I don't see anything over there either. So we can leave that thing be.
Wait, is that a dead Combine soldier?
Yeah. When you guys were off stealing the reactor, I saw the Combine moving supplies in here. So, I guess they're interested in this place again.
Right, we'll keep an eye out. Something's definitely up.
Okay. Manhack.
Manhacks,
Oh no.
See it.
Do not bring manhacks. A rapidly moving target, for me, I mean, let's be honest, that's my death sentence right there.
Okay, so right now, what it's like to live on Earth on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say we're at a 2.
Yep, could always get worse.
What would you rate it before the Combine showed up?
Ooh, that's a toughie. I don't know. Good day? I'd say 6. Yeah, strong 6.
6? That's not great.
Now, that's life, Alyx. You know, it's not always great.
Well, maybe we get the Combine off Earth and we could shoot for like an 8, you know?
Ooh, an 8. Yeah, that really would be nice. Really nice.
Oh, I'm getting some stutters over here. Hopefully we are over them. Okay. Oh, I was supposed to memorize these things, right? Well... Yeah, so... Any chance that you can just show me them again? Ah, god damn it.
When building a Half-Life game, we try to start playtesting as soon as we can, even when we only have 10 or 15 minutes of gameplay built. We find it extremely helpful to see how players are reacting to what we've made as soon as possible. One of the major ways playtesting impacted Half-Life Alyx was in revealing how players reacted to the density of interactive elements in the world. Before we began, we were already aware that players would likely spend more time paying attention to the details of the world around them in VR, but we were unprepared for how significant this would be. Seeing some players spend 30 minutes messing around with a single interactive object really opened our eyes. As a result of those playtesting observations, we spent much of our development time focusing on the environment around the player and the level of details and interactivity to be found there. It might seem surprising that we didn't start with the assumption that we wouldn't need to spend that amount of time on the world, but the reality of game development is that we always have a finite amount of time to build a game and we're always making trade-offs. In the ideal case, we spend our finite time on whatever contributes the most to the player's experience. So, playtesting early and thereby getting a better sense of what elements are contributing to the player experience help us understand where to spend the limited time we have. In this case, those early playtests told us to significantly increase the amount we should budget for creating the world details and interactivity.
Imagine that you are a visionary, like how the game is supposed to look like, how you want it to be played and everything. So you start playtests, right? And you find out that in the world that you created, people are not interested in the world itself. They are interested in random objects that you put in. Because apparently the engine that you chose or built allows you to interact with them. And then basically you are forced to make the game a sandbox. You did not want it to be a sandbox. You did not want it to be a sandbox at all. It was supposed to be a very important story game, right? But instead, it became a sandbox.
Barnacles are a unique enemy type in Half-Life Alyx in that they are static and often situated above the player's natural view direction. During testing in confined or dimly lit spaces, we often saw players walk into barnacle tongues without noticing them. One way we addressed this was with audio. In particular, we made idle barnacles emit subtle breathing, croaking, and grumbling sounds like the following. These sounds helped alert players to the presence of barnacles, and also made them seem like living creatures that were always active, not just a mechanical piece of gameplay that responded only to the player's actions. The head-related transfer functions available in Steam Audio were especially helpful, as they made it possible to accurately spatialize barnacle sounds so that the players could tell that the sounds were coming from above.
None of them provided me with any ammunition. Am I supposed to go this way? I think so. So, what's it gonna be? Are you telling me nothing? Or you're just building up? No, cannot open this one. It's nice that multiple shells are magnetized and you can attract multiple of them at the same time. I think I already mentioned something like that. But it's a really nice quality of life feature. I can really appreciate it. Okay, well, we found the resin, so can't complain on that part.
Early incarnations of manhacks were frustrating to fight in VR, since their audio was not providing enough information about their location. They seemed to appear from nowhere, and even when close to the player, they lacked a dramatic presence. We tried a variety of layered sounds with varying distance fall-offs, but this often created more confusion, especially when multiple manhacks were nearby. Our ultimate solution to the problem consisted of two parts. The first was to make manhacks emit the following alarm-like warning sound when they first came into range or were deployed by a combine soldier. The second part of our solution was to add more aggressive looping sounds with short fall-off distances. The short fall-off of these sound loops meant that this specific component of Manhack's sound treatment would only be audible quite near the player. Thus, when players heard these sounds, they knew that Manhacks had begun hunting them, and one or more was getting close enough to be of concern.
I do not like Manhacks. They have too much freedom in their movement. I do not enjoy them at all. But I know that further down the line we will meet the Combine soldiers themselves, and these guys have an insane AI. Where the heck is this guy? He's clearly not here. Clearly not here either. 50 bullets left. Then overgrowth.
Before Final Out was added, the cramped dark area of this level did not take players very long to traverse. But as the fidelity of the game increased, players spent more and more time getting to this point. As we've learned over the years, too much time in dark underground areas can become fatiguing to players, and this is even more significant in VR. This outdoor section provides a change of pace and a brief respite from the dark. Not only does it give players something visually different and interesting to look at, it allows them to clearly see and assess threat in open space, allowing them to get some easy kills with a little stress. It was also important to provide some variety here, as players are about to head into a dark area that requires precision shooting and flashlight usage.
Why on earth I agreed or thought that going through Alyx is a good idea? I am a terrible shot. I am a scaredy cat. And this is all a very bad idea. Do we have more zombies? Maybe this dude? Where? Ah, this guy. Oh. Well, we're talking about Alyx Vance, so we are quite the violator. Okay. Yeah. Maybe we need to go there. Well, there is resin over there. We will need to pick it up. Hit. Definitely need some ammunition. I need to make use of environment more when we do have these explosive canisters. I don't always make use of them because it feels like shooting an enemy is the most straightforward thing. The problem is I'm a terrible shot. I will keep repeating it because it is just what it is. Let's see. I expect more manhacks over here. We need a valve over here. Okay. Okay, and I see a valve. Okay, cool. Cool. Pulsating tentacles. Pretty much overgrown room. And I suggest that we step into it some other time. Simple as that. Let's wrap it up over here. Let's go for another break. Another great episode. I'm absolutely terrified of the shooting elements that I need to aim and actually like land my shots on an enemy. This is absolutely terrifying experience. I realize how bad I am and how much I will put myself in a danger. But I hope that maybe as we progress, I will pick up some additional upgrades that will ease the process. So I am right now betting on laser sight. Maybe this will be rather helpful for me. And if not, well, yeah, thank God we are not running on a very high difficulty, right? In any case, we will be stopping over here. Thank you so much for staying with me. I hope you enjoy my company and my gameplay, and if that is the case, then please leave me a like and subscribe to the channel, or otherwise let me know down in the comments what I can improve for you. I hope to see you next time. Have a nice day out there.